Hey everybody, welcome to a happy Monday. I hope you're having a good Monday. I have had such a busy last few moments. Okay, I got everything set up and I get Ernie on Skype and it won't work through my computer. So I've got it all figured out. I'm almost on time. What am I? About 2 minutes late. I'm glad you're here. Happy Monday. I've got a lot to tell you about and we want to get right to it. Dinner Conversations. Tomorrow, Dinner Conversations is released worldwide in Christian bookstores all over America. So, so if you have a local Christian bookstore, please go in tomorrow, pick up the new Dinner Conversations. Let me see if I can. You can also go to dinner-conversations.com, which is below, and you can see that. And the new package, you can get this at dinner-conversations.com. And there are let me see, there's this is the DVD that's available tomorrow in all the Christian bookstores. And then you can also get the tea towel at dinner-conversations.com if you like the tea towel. They say some people do. What else have I got on here? Oh, the tea towel. There it is. Okay. See, I'm doing this myself, y'all. This is not ABC. The note cards. There's the note cards. I love the note cards because they say good things. They're a little quote from me or somebody who's been on the show or Andrew. And it's a wonderful thing. So please go to Dinner Conversations or Dinner Dash Conversations. I always forget the dash. And let's see who's tuning in. Deborah Roberts, good to see you. Diane Dickerson, Olivia Lee Lancaster, Jean Ott, hi from Texas. Look at all of y'all. Thank you. Hey, listen, also, please be aware that the Mark Lowry Spring Fling Cruise is filling up. Not really. Hey, we got probably about 180 going so far, and we can take up to 200 or 300. We don't want the whole ship. You know, Gaither, he takes the whole ship, and then they shut down the casinos and they shut down the bars. We ain't shutting down nothing. We figure you're full grown and you can figure out what you want to do. And plus, if you want to complain, you'll find me at the blackjack table. No, I'm kidding. I don't gamble. I don't have any problem with it. I just don't really enjoy it. I don't enjoy losing money. So please go to marklowrycruise.com. Oh, and also we've got a special going on. If you're into idolatry, I have got the Mark Lowry bobblehead available for $8 at marklowry.com. Okay, what else have we? Okay, let me look over my notes. Had a great weekend, y'all. Jonathan Martin, the preacher, not the singer, went with me. We were in Nashville, and he told me he was going to be speaking in Houston at the Village Church. Is that right?
Uh-huh.
He's right over here. I'm going to introduce him in a minute. And I said, why don't you jump on the bus, go with me? I got some concerts coming up. We were in Lake Charles, had a blast in Lake Charles, and then went on to Deer Park, which is really Houston, the suburb of Houston. Had a blast that night. Now that night was my favorite night as far as the concert. I felt I was better that night. Who knows if I was any good at all, really? But I felt free and I felt good in all of them. But it was real good. So anyway, we did. He came down and so he didn't go with me to Covington. He had to speak Sunday morning, and I feel like I'm forgetting something, and I know I got to move ahead quickly. Oh, hit subscribe right down there. Let me think. Wait, that side, I think it is. Down there, there's a subscribe. If you've not subscribed to my YouTube channel, well, you're on it right now. And I've been posting videos since 2006, so you can get lost on this channel if you want to. And there's all kinds of stuff for you to view if you like. But also, if you subscribe and hit the little bell, every Monday they tell me, I hope it really works, you'll be notified that we're live, or whenever I go live. I go live during the week sometimes too. So I don't want you to miss any of these Mondays. it's fun to watch the replay, I think, but there's something about watching it live because there's no 7-second delay button. You know they'd love to put one of those on me, but I'm in charge. Bill Gaither's not in charge. I own the whole channel, and there's no second delay. It's all live. Like when I say, if I were to cuss right now, boom, you'd hear it. But I ain't gonna. I'll wait till after the show if it doesn't go well. If I can't get a hold of Ernie, oh, y'all, isn't that just like that old devil? Here I was, it was all working this afternoon, and boom, it's not. Hey, Cooper says, Mark, you should make me a mod. I don't know what that is.
Like a moderator?
A moderator?
For the forum.
Hey, y'all, this is Jonathan. Come on in here, Jonathan.
Hey, y'all.
This is Jonathan Martin. And let's see if we can. Let me put the camera back a little bit. Hold on, y'all, so we can. This is not ABC.
You really do it all. That's impressive.
I do everything.
This is amazing.
And I was gonna sing. You know what? I think I will. What was I gonna sing? Gary, you're welcome to be a mod, but I don't know you, so I don't know how to make you a mod. And I don't really. You're probably very modern. That's what I was thinking he was saying. Hey, here's a little. I never sing on the show, but I thought, why not? And this, I don't really have to sing that hard. So this is a song I wrote many years ago. You might remember this when you were a child. It's about David and Goliath.
I do remember this.
Well, the story is told in the Bible about a mighty king. How when he was just a little boy, he played around with a sling. Well, he got up early one morning, and before the sun had set that day, a nasty old giant had lost his head, and his body lay cold on the clay. Now David went to the battlefield. His big brother said, stay away, you got no business out here, David, so go back home and play. Oh, but David said, step aside, boys, I'm going to take that giant on. But his brother said, obey your elders, David, get back home where you belong. Oh, but David said, that giant ain't going to make fun of my God and King. I'm going to find me 5 smooth stones, and I'll play a while with my sling. I'm going to challenge that devil in the name of the Lord, and when he's dead, I'll take his sword, chop off his head, and let the world know Jehovah is the Lord. Well, his brother said, now, David, you ain't thinking straight. That giant up there's too big to hit, and your body he will mutilate. Oh, but David said, listen, big brother, I've seen worse than this. That giant up there ain't too big to hit. That giant's too big to miss. Well, the rest of the story you all know. I guess it's history. Little David took one smooth stone, and that giant fell like a tree. So when a giant of trouble gets in your way, you remember what little David had to say. I've seen worse than this. That giant up there ain't too big to hit. He's too big to miss. That giant up there ain't too big to hit. That giant's too big to miss. So whenever a giant gets in your way, you just remember this, that the God who invented giants is big enough to whip them all, and a stone hurled from the hand of the Lord will make any giant. Oh, I'm supposed to hold this real long right here. That's it.
That was awesome.
You remember that?
I do. I'm so happy you pulled that out.
I wrote that when I was in college. And I wrote it like I was an African American. We didn't know what African American. Oh, wait, it's still going. We called it black back then, you know, because we didn't know better, or they hadn't come up with that yet. But anyway, I pictured it like an old black preacher standing in the pulpit. Yeah. Now the story is told in the Bible. Mm-hmm. And I was trying to think of the most picturesque, because black preachers can paint a picture.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. All my favorite preachers are black preachers.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Who are some of them?
Well, I mean, Bishop Jakes, T.D. Jakes is the best orator of the last century, no question about that. Otis Moss III at Trinity United Church of Christ in Chicago is amazing. And but even specifically, I spent a couple years studying just the preaching of Martin Luther King, like not just King, but just his preaching, like the oratory and style. And yeah.
Well, y'all listen, we're going to get to Ernie. Trust me, I know how to get to Ernie. Even though this isn't working, Skype didn't work. I think it's an eCam problem, or it could be a computer problem. I don't know. But I'm going to get him on FaceTime in just a minute. We're going to have a complete great... Thank you all. 528 of y'all tuned in tonight. But I wanted you to meet my friend Jonathan Martin. He is one of the best young preachers I've heard. Now I've heard some good ones, but I love his insights. And I've asked him to take about 5 minutes here, 10 minutes maybe, if the Lord leads him, and just to share what's on his heart. Go for it.
Thank you, Mark. And I have had such a great time hanging out the last couple of days. I didn't know you were going to sing. That's fantastic. Like, I've got all the. By the way, however gracious and wonderful human being you think Mark is from a distance, I promise he's even more so in real life. So this has been amazing. Getting to hang out now for a few days at your house.
Good to have you.
So good to be here. I tell you what, with the tech difficulties though, this is what I learned growing up. The devil's in all that technology. Every crackle in the sound system, we were rebuking the devil.
Yeah.
And then we got the as we called it, that old devil vision from Hollywood. I've not even introduced you to my alternate ego, the Reverend J. Martin, does a lot of preaching about this.
No.
Brothers and sisters, that's the trouble with Christians today, is y'all sitting around watching that old devil vision from Hollywood, and we got women out there bobbing your hair, and like when we're wearing all that war paint, men with their long hair. I'm telling you right now, it's time to we need to get back to holiness. This is J. Martin, his whole thing, his whole deal.
Well, my buddy Chip Davis, he's raised the same background you were. And there seems to be, and our people preached a lot on hair too.
Oh sure, it's a thing.
What are you learning now? What's God teaching you now at 40?
God is teaching me a lot of things at 40, but the thing that was on my mind anyway. Actually, I preached about this yesterday. And then with you doing the David and Goliath song seems all the more appropriate. I've actually been thinking a lot about Jonathan in the Old Testament, and specifically just this uniquely awkward place that Jonathan is at the same time he's King Saul's son, and yet he's also David's best friend. I had a powerful prayer experience a couple years ago. It was really kind of at the tail end of the darkest part of my life, where a friend prayed over me and had this image about Jonathan from the Old Testament. Of course, Jonathan's my name, though again, I'm the Jonathan Martin who doesn't sing. I'm the one who does it, just a looming ogre, that's all I am. But there was specifically, that just keeps coming back around, because I just think about the awkwardness of Jonathan kind of being caught in between those relationships. You've got Saul's DNA in you, and Saul is now throwing spears at David. And for me, it just has become such a provocative image of where I think a lot of people are living right now. I think especially in a time when the world, when church and culture seem uniquely polarized, and everything is, are you on the right or left? Where are you on the continuum? I feel like so many people that I know just feel like they're living every moment of their lives caught in the in-between, living in this in-between space. And, I think especially when you're feeling that kind of tension, I mean, I know like in my life right now, I'm in and out of all kinds of churches these days. I mean, it is, and I love it, it's beautiful, but it's the whole spectrum. And there's that part of me that wants to find a particular people, a particular place, and just settle in somewhere and say, this is the place where I belong. Because who doesn't want camaraderie and friendship and like a sense of kind of being at home? Yeah. But what I feel like the Lord keeps pushing me back into is that I think like Jonathan in the Old Testament, I feel called to be in that awkward in-between space. And when I am tempted to resolve that tension prematurely, I feel like God just won't let me do that, because I think there needs to be people who are willing to be to build bridges and to stay in that tension. God, I think for so long in my life, whenever I felt tension, I assumed that wasn't the Holy Spirit, and I need to get beyond that. Now I think just the opposite. I tend to think like, wherever the tension is where the Holy Spirit actually is at work. And where there's tension, it often means that God is hovering and God's doing something kind of fragile and delicate, So I just, that was the kind of a short version of the word I gave yesterday, but just the sense that I feel like some of us need to be more okay with living in that in-between and living in the tension and not giving in to that either or, black or white, binary kind of dualistic thinking. But I mean, we're kingdom people.
Right.
I think the kingdom always is an alternative to the kingdoms of this world.
Right. Well, you're 40 and you're in a major, really fork in the road for you.
That's right.
And so, but I'm 60, and a lot of the people watching me are my age, and we have those forks too. Sure. When you're looking at retirement, you're looking at grandkids out there that are kids. I mean, everybody's got these in between moments.
Yeah.
And so, what are you learning to do in those? I mean, do you think the best thing to do is just sit still and wait, or what in the in between moment?
Well, I think sitting still has a lot to do with it because I feel like my instinct, and this is sort of the moment we're in culturally too. We always feel like if something doesn't feel right, we need to do something. And I'm trying to get a place in my life where, hey, if God speaks in a way that's clear, if there's some kind of directive, well, of course I want to act on that as quick as I can. But in absence of that, I actually think most of the time it is better not to do anything. I mean, there is something to waiting. This is such a mundane example, but I think about this all the time. I mean, I'm active on social media, and I mean, I see the beauty of it and the promise and all that. But part of what happens is sometimes you can live your life feeling like you're the Pope or the President or something, and you're supposed to be responding to everything in real time. I can't do that. I don't have the emotional bandwidth to carry everything that happens in the world with like equal weight.
Yeah.
There's no way I can have an informed, intelligent, much less spirit-led kind of response to everything that happens.
Right.
And I think, but I think the pressure can be, and I think this happens just for regular folks now. You don't have to be in ministry or whatever else, that you need to swing at every pitch. That you have to have an opinion about everything. Like
really?
some things I just don't know about. I really don't have all the information. And maybe even if I do, that doesn't necessarily mean that the moment's right where I'm supposed to speak to a thing. So I'm trying to learn to be much more sensitive to, hey, this is Stella, everybody.
Yeah, we're trying to be sensitive. Well, you're going to know more about Jonathan. Jonathan's going to be on Mondays with Mark in a few weeks. We'd already had him scheduled when this all impromptu, because, everything I do is pretty impromptu. And if anybody lives an impromptu life and they become my friend, then things like this happen.
Yes.
Hey, jump on the bus. And he's in that kind of place where he can do that. And I've always been in that place where I can do it because I love not planning ahead. Just live in the moment and jump on the bus when it's available. But, of course, I've had people who planned out my life, and I thank God for them. They kept me on schedule. But my point is that, I don't know what my point was, but the point is he's going to be on here again. But he won't be able to bring this precious angel with him because she jumped on the bus with him.
Yes.
And this is this what do you call those dogs that you need on the plane? You need to have her registered.
Yes, I really should. She is a therapy dog for me at minimum.
That's it, therapy
and
dog.
And it's so funny too because I'm 6'5" and 230, and I have this little 10-pound dog. So a lot of people has me about being a big man with a small dog. But I love Stella. She's 3 years old, and she loves her Uncle Mark here. She's
precious.
having a great
My
time.
gosh, she is so sweet and calm. It's amazing. Look at this.
So sweet.
All right. Well, y'all, right after Tori Taft, our foreign correspondent from Bell Buckle, Tennessee, after she gives her report, we'll be back with Ernie Haase. Now, let me see here. Where is she? Here she is. Oh, I hope I got the right one. Oops. Wait, I need the one. Oh, y'all. Here it comes. I think.
Hey everybody, this is Tori Taft, your foreign correspondent on the ground in Bell Buckle, Tennessee. So I'm standing outside of the banquet hall yet again. Y'all remember a couple weeks ago I did a thing, it was like the aftermath of a big party. Okay, pretend you remember, it was weeks ago. Anyway, I thought I'd show you a during so you can see us running around like crazy and making it all look so effortless. So follow me inside, we got a wedding. So here we are, the beginning of a beautiful wedding reception. First dance, oh, romantic. Okay, you ready for the madness to start?
Sure, all day.
Okay, it's about to get nuts. They're lifting lids. They're stirring. So here's the glamorous part of the behind the scenes.
It's super exciting right here.
We're eating now.
Yes.
Back here. Hey, you guys.
Hey, how about that?
And you hear those lovely children?
Yeah. Hear them.
So this is Dustin the DJ.
Hey, that's me.
So when are these people going to get up and start dancing?
Hopefully really soon. I hope they're going to do the bouquet toss and the garter toss.
Yes.
We're going to play a game right after the garter toss, and then we're going to do some dancing.
So how many times have you heard Cha-Cha Slide in your career?
172 this year.
Thank you.
This year.
What are you doing? doing? Hey.
So, Bo, how many you washed so far tonight?
Probably about 200.
Okay, it's over. They finally went home. It was a great party. The hall is trashed. There's popcorn on the floor. I think they trashed all of our props from the photo booth, but it was really fun because just remember, everybody needs a little bell buckle and a wedding or two in your life.
Hey everybody, thank you, our foreign correspondent from Bell Buckle, Tennessee. Y'all, I'm having that old devil. I'm trying to FaceTime old Ernie and he won't answer. Ernie, are you watching? Answer your FaceTime. Oh goodness. Okay, I'm gonna try Skyping from my phone and see if that works, y'all. You got nothing else to do tonight, do you? Okay. Let me see if I have Skype. Here it is. Oh, Lord help me. Ernie Haase. Maybe this will work. Y'all, I don't know what to do. Okay, I'll tell you what I'm going to try. I'm going to try one more time. And if this doesn't work, this will be the end of Mondays with Mark because my computer's going to freeze and I'll just have to tell y'all good night. Let me see. I'm gonna go on here. Jonathan, you got anything else to say for what we crash and burn? Ernie, if you're watching, oh, there he is. Wait, accept. Ernie.
Hey.
Okay. Okay, I see you, but my thing ain't picked. Oh, now my. Okay, wait. It's freezing up. I don't know if the people can see me. Hey, say something, Ernie. See, you're not coming through.
Hey, Mark.
I know, I can hear you.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Okay, it's not working, y'all.
I'm so
this
sorry.
This is the old devil. Hey Ernie, do you have FaceTime?
I do.
You have iPhone? I've been trying to FaceTime you and it won't and you haven't answered. Can you answer?
Yeah.
Okay, hang up. Hang up. I'm gonna FaceTime you.
Okay, I'm hanging up.
Okay. All right, here we go. See, oh, that looks like a plane. Come on, Ernie, answer. Wonder if I got the right number. Everybody, you can hear him, she says. I guess we could just talk to him. What do y'all think? He's not answering. Or maybe I'm hitting the wrong number. Let me see. No? Anybody out there know his number? Let's try it one more time. No. Okay, Ernie, I'm gonna Skype me back, and then let's see if we can just talk. And they can hear you, but they won't see you, which might be better anyway. No, I'm kidding. I hate to kill all this time, y'all, but I'm sorry. I'm gonna try to FaceTime him while he's hopefully Skyping me. But he's not answering the FaceTime. Ernie, you need to answer the FaceTime. Okay, well, all right. Let me see what y'all are up to. Barbara Elder, hello, Barbara. Hey, everybody, hello. Oh, here he comes. Let's see what happens. Ernie?
Hello, Mark. Is this working?
Okay. Oh, there you are. How did that work?
I don't know.
Okay, now, are you on a laptop now?
I am.
Okay, were you on a laptop before?
Yes.
Okay, then I don't know. Evidently, some prayer warrior out here cast out that old devil. Hey, have you been watching or have you been able to?
I have not been able to. I just caught the tail end and I saw Jonathan.
Yeah. Okay, now listen, Ernie. I've got some questions for you.
Okay. Well, hi, Mark. It's good to see you.
Ernie. I'm so frazzled over all that, but you know this ain't ABC.
No.
Listen, I first met you back in the late 80s, I would think. And by the way, you look very nice. Some lady said, Mark, watch the way he dresses. He could teach you a thing or two. So stand up and turn around. Let's see what you're wearing.
I just have my my jogging suit on. I got my Cavs shirt on.
As they say on the Emmys, who are you wearing?
I think it's Cleveland Cavaliers.
Where were you born?
I was born in Evansville, Indiana, southern Indiana, and born and raised in the little town of Newburgh, Indiana, right on the Ohio River.
And you were raised in an independent Baptist, I think, right?
Yeah, independent / Southern Baptist. So,
okay.
It's kind of the same way. We Sword of the Lord, John R. Rice, all those.
Oh yeah, the Sword of the Lord, yes.
So all the publications from him. That's what was our agenda. So yeah, but it was a great upbringing. It was.
It really was, wasn't it? And man, but I remember when I first met you, you were, and you still are a soul winner. But I mean, you were really talking a lot about that. I don't know if that, and I think we all go through that stage of, thinking everybody's, I used to see the flames of hell licking at everybody I passed, and that if I didn't tell them right then, and I felt that urgency, and I still feel it. I feel now more the urgency to get to know them before I go there. So I actually have earned the right to go there and find out where they come from and find maybe another angle to go there than if you were to die today, where would you spend eternity? That's kind of stunning opening question. But that's the way we used to do it, wasn't it?
It was, and it worked. It really worked for a while. But what I saw as I got older, my friends and that I would go out and what we call soul winning on Wednesday night.
Me too.
I didn't see the transformation taking place in our lives. So I was like, I started asking some serious questions of myself. I'm trying to, I lack a better word, sell this lifestyle, but I'm not at peace. I'm still angry. I'm still very competitive. So how's Christ changing my life? And so that's when it started changing the style of sharing Christ. And so I still witness, I still share, but it has to come from a personal experience.
Yeah, so. For me now, it's more like, I might talk to an Uber driver, but boy, we've talked a lot before we get to Jesus. I got up this morning. Well, actually, the bus dropped me off in front of my house at 4 this morning. I come in and try to go to sleep and don't, So there's a place that opens at 6 down the street. So I get up and go down there and have breakfast, and I sit next to this African-American gentleman. And it wasn't long before we were talking about the Lord, and it really was natural, Yeah. I didn't sit down there thinking, okay, his blood's going to be on my hands if I don't bring Jesus up. I think now it's more like, he's so fun and interesting and wonderful. I can't wait to introduce people to him, but I don't want to embarrass either one of them doing it. I mean, I don't want to. I think if we introduce Jesus now the way we did then, I would think he might. I'm just wondering how he feels about that. I don't want anyone to cram me down someone else's throat. I want them to invite me over or want to get to know me. Anyway, I've run down a rabbit trail. So you were born in Newburgh, Indiana.
Sure.
And how did you end up with the Cathedrals?
So when I was a senior in high school, my principal called me over the intercom to the office, and he sat down and played me a cassette. He said, "You like this style of music?" And I had a barbershop quartet at the time. And I also had a 50s review band that I was singing in. So we did doo-wop songs, So I just was always in music. As a matter of fact, I was the only guy on the football team and the baseball team that was also in the musicals. And so I just loved music. And he played me a cassette of a quartet. And it was Cathedrals. And I had just heard them the summer before in Evansville. And so I didn't know anything about Southern gospel music. Our church sang from the hymn book, and we also sang Gaither music.
Right.
And that's not it. We didn't have outside groups coming in.
Right.
And so that kind of, I sang tenor in his group. I helped replace their tenor, and I started that love affair with Southern gospel music. And I've said it many times, the gospel music saved me from a lot of things that I probably would have gotten into if it hadn't been for staying focused and wanting to be in this business so much. And so I thank God for Jesus.
Yeah.
And I think for Southern gospel music.
Well, you never know. I've thought about that a lot too. In my life, I think we all can think, okay, what if I'd gone that direction? What if Mama had not done this? What if, I think you're right where you're supposed to be. myself, and for my journey too. So where do you see yourself going, or have you ever had long-term goals?
I never thought it'd get this far. I mean,
Me,
I was stressed out.
me either. I mean, for
I
me, yeah.
Well, I was asked Glenn Payne. That was my number one question.
What was that?
My number one question to Glenn Payne was always, I mean, how am I going to sing tenor into my 40s and then into my 50s? You know, I always worried that I would burn out, you know, after about 10 years of singing. Because, you know, they sing us, the cathedral, they sing really high.
Right.
And it's just night after night after night. And Glenn gave me some advice. He said, you know, God preserves what he calls. And he says, and if you don't abuse it and keep using it, you know, God will take care of that. And so here I am at almost 54 years old. These are bonus years, you know, to be able to sing in a quartet.
We're saying that now because we used to hear them say that. You know, the
Oh, yeah.
bonus years. Now we're talking about the bonus years. You know,
Well, when I was the cathedrals, George was just turned 60. So, you know, so I'm only, so
George had just turned 60 when you
Yeah.
joined the group.
I thought he was ancient then, you
I
know.
just turned 60.
See? So you got a whole lot more years. Their best years were their last years.
They
Their
were
last years.
phenomenal years, their last years. So do you want to do this till you're in your 80s and such?
I want to be able to.
Yes.
I want to be able to. Yeah, I don't know that I want to. I've always been you too, what they call a road hog. I love the road. And it's just been the last few years with, you know, some personal tragedy within our family. It's made me reevaluate things, and I don't love the road like I used to. I do enjoy being home, but I want to be able to sing the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And so I hope that answers the question.
Yeah,
I don't have any.
I think you definitely answered the question. I'm the same way. I can sense, and I'm not meaning to bring this back to me, but I really am. I can sense that I am changing. That my life, my future is going to be different. I mean, do you sense that? Where do you see Southern Gospel going? Do you think it's going to survive?
Absolutely, absolutely. And the Spirit of God will do what He wants to do when He wants to do it. And I just got to see it. My wife and I went to New York. And we saw 4 wonderful brand new musicals, and we finally got to see Hamilton. Okay. And there's a song that says, "I want to be in the room where it happens, the room where it happens, the room where it happens." I just feel that way, man. I mean, we were in the room when it happened with Homecoming videos.
We were.
And so I could care less who's in charge. But if there's going to be a revival, and the Spirit of God gives us a last wave, and He uses Southern Gospel at all,
yeah,
I just want to be in the room when it happens.
I love that. That would be a good Southern Gospel song too.
Oh, absolutely.
You might just re-record it.
It's a good one.
Now listen, have you got a new project out, don't you?
We do. It's called Clear Skies.
Clear Skies, and it's doing good?
Yeah, actually the title song, Clear Skies, was #1 Singing News radio chart for September. And then it was the song Clear Skies, and the record Clear Skies was nominated for a Dove Award.
Oh, wow.
Song Album of the Year.
That is fantastic. Well, anybody got a question for Ernie while I'm talking to him, you're welcome to put them up there, and I'll try to keep an eye out. See, Ernie, I'm running everything right here. And I'm so glad this finally worked. I mean, it really worked. It really came through that I'm just so excited that you...
Shout out to my guys.
Yes.
Because Clear Skies and Signature Sound and all that good stuff I said wouldn't be possible without Devin McGlamory, Dustin Doyle, Paul Harkey, and Tom Kessler. Those guys are my team, and I hit the stage with them every night with great confidence because of their talent and their heart.
That's good that they need to hear that. Bosses need to tell their employees, and I know you don't consider yourself a boss probably, but you are. You own the group. Man, it meant a lot when Bill Gaither would, at the end of the night, you know what that was like when he'd come and say, "Man, y'all knocked it out of the park," or whatever. And yes. I think it's so important that you do that and tell those guys how important they are to you.
That's the hardest part of having a group was being a leader and being a boss. I always wanted to be one of the guys.
Tammy Armstrong just asked a question if you'd sing, Step Into the Water, Ernie. How long has it been since you sang Step Into the Water?
Oh, we still, on the second half of our concerts, we always take requests, and so the first half we do all the new stuff from Clear Skies, and the second half is all old Cathedrals and old Signature Sound hits. So I would say we sing that at least once a week.
Step into the water.
You do George's part.
Okay. I don't remember it.
I don't.
What was it?
Step into the water, way down. He did that little counter bass thing.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Well, tell me a good George Yant story while we're talking about George.
Yeah, man, there's so many. And let me tell you what. The number one story that comes back to now that he's been gone for almost 10 years. Nobody ever comes up to me and they say something every night to me. They never come up and say and they brag on George how great of a singer he was.
Right.
Funny he was. It was always the time that he took with them after a concert and prayed with them or touched their face.
Yes.
Or some little kid who just has, those big glasses or something you just know they feel self-conscious about. And he would just brag on them. And, so all these years later, they're in their 20s or 30s and they're saying, I don't remember what he said, but I know how he made me feel that night.
Mm.
And so the legacy of love that he left, but I could tell you.
He was funny too. Oh yeah. Listen, no one could walk through a room and make everybody. Here's one thing I learned about George. He could make everybody in the room feel like he spent 15 minutes with them.
Right.
And he has literally walked through the room and got to the other side to get, because people would be going at him like they do. But he made you feel like you were the only one in the room.
He stayed in a place of, when we were cleaning out the house a couple of months ago, we're just now getting to where we can let go of the house, and we're going to have to put that on the market. And so we did an estate sale, and I cleaned out his closet, and I found so many notebooks full of poetry that he had written.
Really?
It was just, he was just he saw the beauty in life, and somebody who traveled with him all the time, you can ask anybody traveling. George didn't get in the weeds too often. He stayed positive.
Yeah.
He was the oil that made the machine go around. But then you had Glenn, and
now, how was he different? How was Glenn different from George?
Because George wouldn't know. If George is left up to George to take the money that weekend from the sales to the bank, he would have left it at Walgreens on a shelf as he went in there to buy 15 rolls of toilet paper and toothpaste. He was just but Glenn was business.
He was business. Somebody's got to be.
Somebody has to be.
Yeah.
But they were both very gracious, loving people.
So, are there any funny stories? Y'all, we got funny stories. We just really need to be dead to tell them. That's the problem. Because all you people out there might judge us. We know you're watching. If you just turn off the YouTube, we could really have a good time without all you judgers out there that might. No, George, he was funny.
All the time.
Tell me a good one.
Well, at Glenn's expense, we were in we had the rule, if the concert started at 7, the doors opened at 6, we had to be at the product table, except for George. He was resting his voice. And if we were a little bit late, Glenn would he'd break out in hives. That was just the way it was. Well, about an hour before the show starts, the pastor wanted to have a prayer meeting downstairs in the basement. Well, you can just see it on Glenn's face, but you can't say no to praying with the pastor,
Right.
So we go downstairs, and we're in a prayer circle, and you can just feel him tick, he just vibrate. So as soon as the pastor said amen, he was like, amen. He took off, and he thought he was going up the stairs, but he opened the door and went into a broom closet and shut the door behind him. So George looked at all of us, and he just went,
huh?
He walked over the door and he knocked. In real low voice, he goes, man, we all know you're in the closet. I'm going out now. And his face when he opened that door is just...
Oh, that is so funny. He was
There's so many great stories like that.
I love, I heard that when Glenn passed away, which first of all, everybody thought George would die first. Everybody did. But Glenn got sick and boom, left. He got what? Pancreatic cancer or something?
Yes.
Yeah. And I heard that his homegoing was very special. Do you know any details about that?
It was. And it was there at, I think, First Baptist there. And
No, I'm
Frank.
talking about when he literally died. I
Oh.
heard that he was singing "What a Day That Will Be." Oh, what was that? I heard he was singing "What a Day That Will Be," and when the Savior takes me by the hand, and then he stopped singing and his hand fell. Now, if that ain't true, it sure is a great story.
I wasn't in the room when it happened.
Okay.
But I've heard, and the Payne family, we're still very close to them.
Yeah.
But they did say that when they were singing, and I can't remember what the song was, when it got to a certain point, that his eyes just opened and he just stared into the heavens, and then he was gone. So
I love stories like that.
yeah, it happened too fast. He got sick. We were in DeQuoin, Illinois, at a state fair, and Glenn was behind the product table, like always, like we said. But he was sitting on one of the cases, and he literally went to sleep behind the product table. So it was like something's wrong. So after the concert, we said, "Hey, Glenn, do us a favor, go to the doctor." He bragged his whole life he'd never been to the doctor, never been to the dentist, and it was true.
Wow.
And it's go to the doctor. You just don't look well, buddy. And that was it. 6 weeks later, he was gone.
Oh no,
That same thing happened with Tara, my sister-in-law, this Christmas. She went in December the 9th with a side ache, and we thought it was appendicitis, and 3 weeks later, she was gone. Her whole upper GI was full of cancer. So there's just a lot of this in our lives right now, just shaking our heads. But I still, and I text a friend today, and I said, I still, after all these years, follow Christ and trust Christ because He cares. If I didn't think He cared and could identify with our sorrow and our suffering, I would do something else. But deep down inside, He cares, and I can follow somebody who cares.
Mm.
That's where we're at. We're still suffering through all of that.
And it seems like when it rains, it does pour. I've seen a lot of people go through one thing and then boom, another thing hits, and then boom, another. It's like triple just keeps coming. I want to ask you some questions before we close out today. I know you love the Lord, and I've always loved that about you. I love that you believe what you sing, and that means, I love that. I mean, none of us are perfect. And the only difference between us and you watching is we got the microphone. That's it. We're all a pack of freaks trying to find our way home, and Jesus is the way. Yes. And that's why we're doing even Mondays with Mark. It's all about that. I want to ask you some questions that I've decided I want to start asking all of my guests some of these. Okay. What would you do if you knew you couldn't fail?
If I knew I couldn't fail.
Right.
I'd walk on any NBA court and challenge any of those guys on. I mean, there's only one thing that I love almost as much as singing in a quartet.
Yeah.
And that's playing basketball. And God did not give me that gift of being able to jump and dunk.
Yeah.
But I would be able to walk out on one of those courts in the middle of the game, knowing I couldn't fail or get arrested, and say, for the next 5 minutes, let me play.
All right, next question. What do you believe about God today that you didn't believe 20 years ago? Or maybe, what do you know about God today you didn't know 20 years ago? Or maybe, what would you tell your 20-year-old self about God that you wish he knew?
We're all made in his image. We're all made in his likeness. And
even our chins?
Yeah, man, me and you do. We have... I just think when we started talking in the very beginning, you kind of went off, organically on the soul winning thing. I just think I don't come from a place anymore of them needing something. I come from a place saying, we're all God's children. How can I help somebody? Because basically, I'm sitting in this room. I don't want to get deep, but when I turn the lights off, it's dark. Only thing that the light can do is expose what's in here.
Yes. And
so I just want to expose with my light, because we're called to be light. I want to expose with my light what's already there.
Brilliant. I love
Was
that.
it?
Yes. I love that. Because we are, Jesus said of himself, I am the light of the world. But in one place he said, you are the light of the world too. Evidently, because he says you are. So we are, and of course it's his light in us, I believe, that illuminates anything that is illuminated. What do you want your tombstone to say?
I want it to say, he loved his God and he loved his wife with all his heart. That's about it.
That's a good thing.
I never dreamed, Mark. I was so driven in those early days, and that.
But we all were. That's the time of life when you do that, right?
And I had that cliche, I'm going to be a bachelor to the rapture. I was just, God gave me the greatest gift when I got my job with the Cathedrals. He gave me the greatest gift when he gave me Lisa. He didn't move me up here just for a job. And so doing life with her, like back to the question you said about what's next, I don't know. But as long as I'm with her, it's cool.
Isn't that great? That's fantastic. Okay, let me see. What is your, I don't care about your most embarrassing moment. What does a perfect day look like to you?
Being able, seriously, I know how much you love coffee. I've got to have my good cup of coffee.
Right.
And I've got to have about an hour to myself to read and to meditate. If I can do those two things, then I can, everything else is pretty good. And I still love to work out. Had my dad not raised me that way, I probably wouldn't have been that way. But if I don't get a good sweat, if I don't get a workout in, but if I can do those 2 or 3 things, I'm pretty good.
Last part, I was with you. I was with you till you started sweating. I do not. Hey, if you could sing one of your songs that you've sung through your lifetime, one song to the world, what would it be?
Oh, what a Savior! Oh, hallelujah!
Yeah.
His heart was broken.
Sing it, buddy.
On Calvary. His hands were nail scarred. His side was riven. He gave his life's blood for you and me. What? I love that song. I've been singing it. It's been my greatest blessing. It's been my greatest curse.
Yeah. But you know what? The message, gosh, I mean, I got chills again. I mean, when you really listen to the words, to the songs we get to sing,
no,
and you really let them sink into your heart and realize all of a sudden it just dawns on you how crazy God is about you, no matter where you're watching me right now on YouTube. I believe God could have brought you here. You may not know me or Ernie, but I'm here to tell you there is a God in heaven who is out of his ever-loving mind in love with you. And Amen. He proved it when he asked Jesus, when he sent Jesus to come for us and die for us and rise again on the 3rd day. And the Bible does say that if you believe that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. So you can, even right where you are, believe. It doesn't make any sense, I'll be honest with you.
What I find amazing is our yes matters to Christ. He didn't create a bunch of robots. He gave us a free will. And so I can't explain how all that works through civilization. I mean, God could have stopped a lot of things, I know, but he gave us his son.
Yeah.
And so, however you want to believe, you want to pray a certain way,
and raised from the dead, that's important,
From the dead and so if you believe, you just need to say yes to Christ.
Yeah.
That's not even more complicated than that.
Our participation, I heard someone say one time, and I've quoted, I love it. Our participation in salvation is 2 words, yes and thanks.
Amen.
We agree with God that we were worth dying for because he said so. And then spend the rest of your life thanking him.
Yeah, I like that. And then trying to put words to the mystery. I mean, seriously, even the yes is a gift, a grace. So I can't, I run out of words on that. So.
Trying to put words to the mystery, that sounds like a song. You mean like in our songs and stuff? Is that what you mean?
You run out of words.
Yeah.
There are no.
Jonathan, you got any input in that?
No,
this
you
is
guys
Jonathan.
are killing it. This is so good.
Well, we're killing it then. The pastor's sitting there holding his dog. Well, I love you. What's your name? Ernie. Gosh. Ernie, are you doing any dates with the vocal band? Are y'all working any together anymore?
We did there for like 7 years, but
well, I know that. That was
Our week there.
that was a big run too, wasn't it?
Big run.
Yeah.
We still talk every week, Bill and I. But we did Fort Worth last year, and then they rebooked that, and then we're going to be with him at Quartet Convention next week.
Okay.
And so I don't know. He's amazing that he's at 82.
82.
Going at it, man.
And going wide open. They are in the studio right now recording like 30 songs. He says he just wants to get them in the can just in case.
Well, and he's told me last week he's excited to be in with you and all the former members of the vocal band.
I know you should have done a run through the vocal band so you could be there too. If you'd have just come for a couple of weeks.
I filled in one weekend. Remember when Jim Murray got sick?
Oh, then tell Bill you'll be there.
We sang Over the Moon. Remember?
Where are you going to be this weekend? Let's tell everybody.
We're going to be in Virginia the whole weekend.
Oh, you are?
So to find out which city and what time like that, just go to my website, erniehaase.com.
ERNIE. In fact, I should have had that ready.
That's all right.
I want to show you. I can hit that button, type in erniehaase.com.
HAASE.
Yeah, I know how to spell your name. Okay, then you do I didn't know if it was Ernie Haase Music or whatever. Y'all, if you go there and bookmark that page, you can find out where Ernie Haase and Signature Sound are going to be. And you've had how many? I was looking at Wikipedia, at your Wikipedia page, and how many different singers have come through your ministry and gone on to do whatever they do?
Oh, God's blessed. We haven't had as much turnover. Like Doug was here for 15 years, and he's with Kate's Voice now. Tim Duncan was here almost 10 years. He's with Matt Hagee's ministry in San Antonio. And so I think it's been about 15 guys. Ian Owens, and he's with a group called Sold Out.
And y'all stay in touch? Someone asked if y'all stay in touch. Absolutely.
Last week, Ian Owens had a night off. He came to hear us. Last night, Roy Webb came to hear us in Cincinnati. Ryan Seaton texted me this week, Doug. So that's the thing I'm most proud of, is that we've been able to stay in touch.
Absolutely.
All the years.
Yeah, and Bill, we talk all the time. I probably talk to him more now than when I was in the group, but it's more about just stuff, It's not like it's not work anymore. It's just two old men talking on the phone,
Well, don't count yourself as an old man quite yet, man. You've got a lot of great ideas, and the best is still yet to come for you, man. So
thank you, Ernie. I love you, buddy, and I thank you for being on my little program.
Oh, my honor. Thanks for inviting me.
I hope people will go out and hear Signature Sound. Now, I remember the Short Ties. I do remember the Short Ties. Let's talk before we close in prayer over that. Explain that to me, because I would have thought y'all had a brain damaged time or something.
Everything that happened, everybody thinks Ernie just thought it was accidents, man.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they were accidents. That short tie happened because I'm 6'3". The other guys were 6 foot or 6'5". So I said, hey, no dainty, that was it. I said, no dainty little knots. Let's tie a big old fat knot. Well, the tie was too long in the backside, so we tucked that in and just had the little short tie. But I said, don't unbutton your jacket, because they'll see how short our ties are. So we were in.
You can't do a concert and not unbutton your jacket the way y'all move around.
That's what happened in Dallas that night at the American Airlines Center. And we were going encore after encore. I forget what song it was, but then we opened up our coat. Well, at intermission, everybody comes to the table and says, is this the new style? These are short ties? And I'm like, yeah. Actually,
I never knew this story.
That happened. And so every night after that, we opened our coats up every night, never buttoned our coats again.
I just thought y'all were trying to start a new style or something.
It was all because I wanted the knot to be a fat knot. That was all it was. But everybody had so much fun with it. I was like, okay.
Oh, it became, y'all were known for it there for a while. Plus, you brought back, when you put together Signature Sound, it was an exciting group. Y'all did as much dancing as you did singing. I remember thinking, Lord, thank God I didn't ever get in that group. I can't move like that. How did you learn to move like that being I
think my musical days and being in those
Theater and
show
stuff.
choirs and theaters. So like I think that got into it. But that was an accident too. My very first concert was in Nashville at a little Nazarene church. There was probably 50 people there, and we were going out on stage, and we had recorded a song, an old spiritual called "Stand by Me."
Yeah.
And, so we get on stage, and I told the guys, I said, I don't know what I'm doing. We've recorded the songs. I've never emceed the concert before, but I just talked with George, and he said, do what you feel, nothing more, but nothing less. I said, so that's going to be our guiding rule, nothing more, but nothing less. So I second song, it's "Stand by Me," and somewhere in that song, I went, "Oh Lord, oh Lord," and Doug looked at me and went, "Oh Lord," and then they all started doing like that, and it blew up, and we had nowhere to go after the second song. We had encored it 3 or 4 times, and so when I got back to the bus, I said, we need to try that again tomorrow night, because if it works, that might be fun. And that's how it happened. It was just an accident. All those things were accidents.
All those holy accidents, Reba calls them.
Nothing more, nothing less.
Yeah. Well, that was good. There's some good pieces of advice in there. That would be interesting for you to put those in some sort of book or something. You know, just if we could accumulate the wisdom that we've been handed to pass down to the young people coming along, they could, you know, bypass some of our things we had to learn from experience.
Well, that's why that's how I read the scriptures. These guys were there; they know.
Yeah.
You know, so when somebody asks me, "Well, what did George say about this and the other?" Well, they're asking me because I was there.
Right.
You know, so it's like, you know, people get so far in the weeds with you know, Luke's account to Matthew's account. Like, I mean, to me, they were there, they saw it. They're trying to tell us. They're not trying to. Hope Pastor doesn't throw me under the bus because I'm not an ordained minister, but they weren't trying to tell us facts. They were trying to share a life and the promises that this life came to fulfill. And so we can't handle facts. You know, he don't tell us all the facts. He tells us.
Yeah. Well, Madeline Lingle was asked one time, do you believe the Bible is literal? And she said, oh, it's much truer than that. Isn't that a great quote? What do you think about? What are we talking about again? Oh, good.
Are people actually watching us talk about this?
I hope somebody's watching. 659 people are watching right now. They're probably bored out of their mind. We just went to 661. Huh?
God bless you, you 600 plus people. Thank you for listening.
You know, I love, you know, because I've talked to you long enough to learn some things. Like, for instance, I did not know that, you know, oh gosh, I forgot what I didn't know now. I've already forgotten it. Forget it. 60. Don't turn 60. So, Ernie, thank you. Hey, thank you for being here, John.
Oh, thanks for having me.
I guess we're done.
Good to meet you, Ernie.
It was a pleasure meeting you.
I'll edit up that ending because I literally had a complete brain fart. Thank you, Ernie. Hey, listen, so you're going to be, they can go to erniehaase.com because you literally don't know where you're going to be this weekend, right?
I just know we're going to do 3 concerts in Virginia, so just check it out.
Well, if you see my daddy, tell him hello.
And I love singing your mama song.
Do you still sing it?
I Thirst. Oh, yeah. That one and The Ground is Level. That's the one we should bring back. People don't know that one as much. Yeah. Remember that one?
Yeah, I sure do, now that you mention it. Have you brought it back? Did you bring it back?
No, I'm just saying that might be a good one to bring back. So.
Do it.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. God bless you. Thank you for being with me.
God bless you.
Y'all take care. Bye-bye, everybody.